Welcome, love, back to the channel where you discover your manifestation power and create everything that you want. Whether that be that delicious relationship where you feel safe, seen, heard, validated, prioritized, and adored, or it be an abundance of money, delicious health, a healing, adventure, fun, spontaneity, whatever it is that you want, because you 100% deserve it and it is your birthright to get it. So today we're going to help you do that by talking about a phase in the manifestation process that is not talked about enough. And that is the transition phase. The transition phase is the part between when you ask for what you want, following all the steps and the rituals and exactly the way that it's supposed to be. I will put in the description a couple of links for you to watch to make sure that you're setting that intention with the right energy, because if you're setting it with needy energy, it is going to repel your manifestation. It doesn't matter how hard you ask, you are not going to receive your manifestation. So step one, assuming that is done correctly, check. Then you enter this phase that is holding space for your manifestation. This is the part where before your manifestation arrives and you're the receiver of it, there is what's called a transition. It is just like a pregnancy when you're impregnated and you have to wait a certain amount of time for that baby to develop. It is the same as planting a seed and then having to nurture that seed, give it everything that it needs in order for it to bloom, to grow strong. It needs to be nourished, it needs to be tended to. So a lot of people get lost in this transition phase because it's hard for them to see actual progress and feel that they're stuck, going back down to the initial phase of let me ask again, let me try another tool, let me figure out what's going wrong. And what's happening in that phase is that instead of progressing and supporting, holding space for their manifestation, they start anti-manifesting by believing and activating the belief that it's not coming, I must be doing something wrong, I have to try something else, and they keep jumping from manifestation tool to manifestation tool without actually learning to commit to the process and trust the process to develop the faith required for it to be received, for it to be materialized. And so today we are going to clarify what happens in this transition phase so that you can recognize it when you're going through it, know what to expect, and that way you can keep moving forward in your manifestation journey instead of getting in your own way and heading back to phase one, restarting over and over again, and every time losing more and more hope, which is actually anti-manifesting. We don't want that for you. So let's get into it. Taking a deep, delicious breath in. We're in session. The transition phase. What is this transition phase? How do we recognize that we are in it? What are some of the do's and don'ts that we need to look out for during this phase? And how do we ensure that we're progressing in the right direction? All these questions will be answered for you today. And by the end of the video, you'll have a lot of clarity of what happens in this phase of your manifestation journey when you feel that you're getting stuck. You will learn to recognize it and keep moving forward so that you can actually be the receiver of what you want. The manifestation phase of transition, which is where we don't yet have what we want and we're learning to hold space for it, is a little bit wobbly. That is the best way we can describe it. Wobbly meaning you are going to be manifesting things that in some ways don't make any sense. So, for example, you might be wanting to manifest being more honored, respected, prioritized, or chaste. Let's just take, for example, being more chaste. And while you're in this transition phase, if you set that intention correctly with the right energy, you are encountering a lot of people changing the way they relate to you. And so, as it's happened in my personal experience or in the experience of clients, once I went to the beach and out of the blue, this guy sits down next to me. Not somebody that I'd be interested in having a conversation with. He was smoking. I don't like that smoke on top of me, and it was definitely a manifestation of being chaste that felt a little bit wobbly. It was requiring some fine tuning, right? It wasn't I am being chased by someone that I want to be chased by. I'm being chased by someone I may not be attracted to. So this doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. It just is confirmation that your vibration, your energy is changing in the right direction, and there's some fine tuning needed. At the same time, during that phase, I was also manifesting things like going to the beach and doing a recording there, and suddenly having these guys show up in the background in my video and starting to joke with me. And I wasn't ready for that. I was focused on the video that I was doing, so I just went like this, like, go away, instead of being open to that manifestation, to this energy shift where now there is more chasing energy after you. So we're not always going to be ready. It's part of the transition phase, becoming ready, learning to recognize, ooh, that's what I've asked for, and I can see that I'm not just already ready for it. That's okay. This creates awareness that I can now apply one of the tools to help me get ready. The tools that I teach for each phase of the process are all explained in detail in the 16-week Manifestation Mastery Program. Also, at the same time, I went to a supermarket, and as I was walking out the supermarket, this guy starts talking to me like, oh, where are you going? What are you doing? Definitely not someone I was interested in, but again, confirmation that your energy is changing, that you've activated something within you, that the memo is getting passed around, and you are being the receiver now of this chasing energy. If in those cases we interpret that as, oh, I must be doing something wrong, which is mistake number one. I must be doing something wrong. I'm not getting exactly what I want. So in situations like that, we're gonna have two possibilities. We can go ahead and say, oh my God, I am not doing things right. My manifestation is not coming. This is all wrong, or it's not what I requested, and think that you're making a mistake, that you're doing something wrong, and head back into phase one of the manifestation. Again, starting the process over and losing a little bit of hope, feeling a little bit down, thinking it's not gonna happen for me, and blah, 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 letting your mind control you. Again, anti-manifesting. Not what we want to do during the transition process. What we want to do during this phase is remind ourselves, my energy is shifting. This is evidence of that. It's not perfect. The baby's not yet born. The plant is not yet grown. It's in the process, and there's some fine-tuning that is happening, but this is all evidence that my energy is shifting, that I'm opening up to being the version of me that is chaste, and this is all practice to help me get comfortable with it, so that when I do receive it from the ones that I do want, I am open, comfortable, it's normal for me to receive it, and therefore pretty easy to be the manifester, the realizer, the receiver of what I want. So this is the part where you're building that muscle. Do not make the mistake of thinking that you're not progressing or that you're doing something wrong, which will activate a lot of beliefs of doubt, insecurity, fear that will take you back into needy energy that repels and have you starting from step one again, but with a lot more doubt, a lot more fear, a lot more insecurity. There's nothing wrong if that happens if you know how to clear all that needy energy, which is part of what I teach in the 16-week manifestation mastery program. But if you do not want to activate this energy, this needy energy unnecessarily, you can remain in that phase of transition by understanding that it is shifting, it is happening, it's in the process, it's not perfect, it's wobbly, and that is perfectly okay. Another example in regards to business or finances, for those that are more working on manifestations in regards to money, or maybe you want to manifest your own business, or you want to manifest a better job. So initially when I began my business, I wanted to help everyone. As an empath, that's what we want to do. We just want to help people. Whoever it is, it doesn't matter. Through many years of presenting different offers and talking to different people and trying to see how I can best serve the needs of my audience and at the same time create a win-win for me, an elevated relationship where there's a healthy give and take, a balanced give and take, where everybody thrives and not from the old dynamic of being an empath that we were taught, where we just serve others at our own detriment, sacrificing ourselves. When we overgive, overtend, over-explain, over-provide to others, but we're not getting that nourishment in return, it creates lopsided relationships, and then it creates resentment, and it creates a lot of negative emotions that again activate a lot of needy energy that is not something that is healthy for a growing business or a growing partnership or a new venture that you want to begin. So in that process of defining who I wanted to speak to, at the beginning it was so open, I want to speak to everyone. So I'm just going to put very low offers and have people just come into my world so that they can get what they need from it. And there was no way to create a thriving business where I felt supported and could get everything that is required, because it does take resources to run a business and you need to have access so you can hire people to support you. There's no way you could do everything by yourself in your business, right? So all those resources are going to cost money. They're an investment. So I wasn't able to receive at the level that I was giving, which was creating a lot of resentment and needy energy and repellent energy, and it was just not working. And it got to a point where I had to make some tough decisions that happened through healing my own needy energy, my own empath wounds, so that I could serve people from a higher level, from a level of win-win, from a level of healthy dynamics of give and take, and I could model that for my clients, my students, and my audience. And in that phase, I had to make decisions of who am I going to speak to and who am I going to focus my energy on. There are people that want to think of manifestation or are choosing to think of manifestation or like that description, that manifestation is kind of like a spell, something you do quickly and you get what you want, and they have no interest in doing any of the inner work to become a match to that up-leveled request that you're making. And that's okay. That's where they are on their journey, and that's perfectly fine, but it is not who I want to speak to. And that was a tough decision. Creating some boundaries around that, creating offers that are aligned to that. And in that process, all sorts of people kept showing up in that transition phase when I made that clear intention of I'm speaking to people that can hear me. I'm speaking to people that are ready to do the inner work. I'm speaking to people that want to be that next level version of them so they can match that up-leveled request and that up-leveled relationship that they want to call in. They no longer want to settle, but they're not anymore going to be a match to what they were before, where they were in that needy, repellent energy where they did have to settle. So during this transition, that was very clear for me of who I am going to focus my energy on and speak to. People that are ready for more up-leveling, that in other areas of their lives, they see this growth and this expansion, like many of my clients, when it comes to money or when it comes to their work, they're excelling, they're doing really, really well. But when it comes to relationships, they're like at a loss. They don't understand what is happening. Why is it so difficult? Why can't they have the success that they have at work when it comes to relationships? And being very clear on that, the transition phase shows a lot of wobbliness, shows a lot of mix and match, shows people that may purchase a $7 introductory offer and send an email saying your program isn't working for me. Well, when we look in the account, there's no program. They didn't buy a program. A program is a commitment. It's a process where you're diving deep into inner work during a dedicated period of time, whether that be 30 days or 16 weeks. My most transformational programs are 16 weeks because transformation requires time, dedication, practices, tools, guidance, support, commitment. If you do want to see the change, at least if you want to see some sort of change, it's a 30-day commitment. So there was no program. She enrolled in a 7-day ritual introductory offer, only did day 1, which was a 15-minute meditation, and then sent an email saying your program is not working for me, which tells me my vibration is very wobbly. I am in the transition phase. I am not doing anything wrong. I didn't go back to square one and say, oh my God, I'm not manifesting what I want. This isn't working. No, I know well enough that the transition phase has this part in it. I expect it, I understand it, and I am okay with it. I accept it. So what determines if I get more of this or I get more of, in the other side, a client that just came for a VIP retreat in Bali, and we had absolutely the best time. I told her, this is the first time ever we're doing a retreat. And if you're open to it, I'm gonna flow by intuition. It's not gonna be laid out A, B, C, D. We're gonna do this by intuition. And if you're okay with that, you're welcome to be the first special guest. And she was so ready for it. It was magical. When it is magical, you're resonating at that high level of energy, that high vibration that is a healthy give and take. It is a symphony of delicious emotions. You are bathed in oxytocin, serotonin. You activate your inner pharmacy. Things just flow. I can be a channel for what she needs, allowing divinity to flow through me to hear and support her. And she discovered amazing things about herself that were blocks that she wasn't aware of, that she was asking for some things, not knowing that she could ask for more. And it was such a magical experience for her and for me, which clarified again more. I love speaking to those that are ready, to those that can hear me, to those that want to flow in a space of intuition and allow divinity, God force, infinite intelligence to saturate our relationship and help you expand to levels that you didn't even know were possible in magical ways. And it was again clear for me. Look at what I'm manifesting in the same time span as this. It's just more confirmation that I'm in the transition phase. What you do in this phase will determine how long you stay in the transition phase. And that's what we're going to talk about in the next video. So drop all your questions in the comments about that or this video so I can dive deeper into it to support you through this transition phase so that you can navigate it successfully and become the receiver of everything that you deserve. I can't wait for you to see what is ahead for you. And if you know anyone that is navigating the transition in a wobbly way and thinking it's not working for them, make sure to share the video with them. I'll see you on the next one. Well, you're not following me. I'm here. Wait, I want to go over here. You just stay there? What happened?